The Vegas Golden Knights seem to be trying to keep the gang all together. After really being in a bad situation cap-wise, they still find a way to bring back some top guys. As we saw earlier in the year, they still bring back Riley Smith, who was an integral piece to this team last year and will likely be this year. They still find a way to bring in more guys. So we're going to be going through the 4 guys that they've most recently signed and talk about their contract, the stats that they bring to this team, and what they will likely bring to this team going forward. But if you enjoy this content, please like and subscribe. I'm trying to reach subscribers before the end of the year, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. But let's not waste any more of your time. The Golden Knights have really backed themselves into a corner with the current cap situation. Although they have made some trades to free up space, like moving Max Pacioretty to the Hurricanes or Evanciy Dadonov being moved to the Canadiens. Vegas is still struggling heavily in the cap situation. Somehow, though, they have still found a way to bring back some key players for the team, such as Riley Smith, as mentioned before. And now Vegas has made 2 more re-signings just a couple weeks ago and 2 more recently in the past couple weeks here, bringing back Keegan Kolesar and Nic Dowd. First, let's start with Keegan Kolesar. For one, his contract is a 3-year deal with an average annual salary of $1.4 million, which is an extremely good contract for a player that I think has a lot of potential and a player that I actually had being in my breakout video. I think it was 4 players for the Vegas Golden Knights that I expect to have a breakout year. If you would like to go check that video out, please go do so. But Keegan Kolesar's stats. He's 25 years old, so still very young, as most players don't even enter the NHL until like 24, 23. He's a right winger. He had 24 points last year, which was 13th on the team. He had 7 goals. He had 17 assists, which was 11th on the team. And a thing that I kind of think gets overlooked a lot in a lot of hockey fans is what they can do non-scoring wise. And Keegan Kolesar was very good at that. Had 46 blocks, which was 8th on the team, 246 hits, which was 1st. And that was 87 more than the second place player on the Vegas Golden Knights in William Carrier. 246 hits, which is a absolutely crazy number, and that's even, I think, like top 15 in the entire NHL. He also had 33 takeaways, which was 9th for the roster, and he did that in 77 games last year, and only 5 other players had more games than he played last year. Those are all very, very good stats, especially for a guy that is still very young and can improve dramatically. As mentioned, I expect him to be a breakout year this year. They also re-signed Nic Dowd to a 5-year, $15 million contract on a $3 million annually. Now, Nic Dowd's stats, he's also 25 years old. He is a center, and he was not incredibly amazing for, scoring, outside of scoring, I should say, but he did do very good at putting points up on the board. He had 39 points last year, which was 6th on the team. He had 15 goals, which was 6th on the team. He had 24 assists, which was 5th on the team. And outside of that, he didn't do anything spectacular, at least in the top 10 wise for the roster. But he did still have 34 blocks, 85 hits, 34 takeaways, which was 8th. And he did that in 78 games last year, which, again, only 4 players had better than he did. So Nic Dowd and Keegan Kolesar are both guys that I expect to improve, that are still very young and have space to improve and can become integral pieces to this roster over the remainder of their contract and potentially through the future of their contract. Now, with Nic Dowd being 30th in this contract and Keegan Kolesar being 28, it's not expected that the next contract they get after this will be major, but it is still good to see that they're going to be with this team long term, even with the team being in a tough cap situation. Now, after the Robin Lehner injury, an additional $5 million was added to the cap, as Robin Lehner will be on LTIR, which is long-term injury reserve. With that $5 million, the Vegas Golden Knights bring back 2 guys and 1 tough name. Jake Leschyshyn is how I'm going to say it, was brought back on a 3-year minimum contract. And although he didn't show anything great for this team last year, I think there's plenty of ability that he could bring to this team. He's 23 years old. He is another center. And although he only had 6 points, 2 goals, and 4 assists last year, he still showed an ability to be important to this roster when he was on the ice, having 23 blocks, 45 hits in 41 games played. Pretty solid numbers for a guy that's not getting a ton of playing time out there on the ice. Now, the other guy that the Vegas Golden Knights brought back was Paul Cotter. He was brought back on a 3-year minimum contract, just like Jake. And his stats, he's 22 years old. He's another center, and he definitely did a lot less than Jake did, but he had 2 points, 2 goals, 0 assists, a block, 17 hits, but he did do that in 7 games. Now, if you space it out over the rest of the year, 7 games, I'm not going to do the quick math in my head because there's 82 games in a year, but, take that times 11, so he has 22 points, 22 goals, you're going to do 11 blocks and a decent amount of hits. Those are all pretty solid numbers. And just like for Jake, if we double his numbers, which would get him exactly 82, he would have 12 points, 4 goals, 8 assists, 46 blocks, and 90 hits. Those are all pretty solid numbers. And at 90 hits, that puts him, pretty solidly in 4th or 5th for this roster. So although the Vegas Golden Knights, again, were in a really tough cap situation, they do find a way to bring back some valuable pieces like Riley Smith, Keegan Kolesar, and Nic Dowd, as well as bring in guys that could potentially bring a future to this team like Jake Lyon and Paul Cotter. But what will they do with the remainder of the money is kind of a big question that's up in the air. There are some, other guys on this team that have not been brought back yet, and there's some speculations that maybe they'll be included in a sign-and trade, maybe they won't be coming back to the team, and I'm not here to so much talk about that, but there's not a whole lot of money left for the Vegas Golden Knights to spend, and I am happy with what they have done so far. But what are your guys' thoughts? Do you like them bringing back guys like Keegan Kolesar and Nic Dowd? Is there someone else you guys would have rather them brought back or brought in to the roster? Comment that down below. If you enjoy this content, as always, please like and subscribe. It truly means the world to me. I'm trying to reach 1,000 before the end of the year, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. And as always, I hope it taught you something today. Hope made you smile. Hope made you laugh. Something's really important to me. Affect someone else today in a great way, because every single day can be a great day if we all just put in the effort. And as always, you guys all be safe out there. But something deep inside won't let